Test, test, 1, 2, 3.
We came before the skyline knew what it wanted to be, before the $1 million postcodes, and we've ridden every Gold Coast wave since. We were just two brothers that had a vision. Now we're the longest standing real estate group on the Gold Coast. We are where sellers turn, who developers come to, and the name renters trust. We'll give you the keys to your first place, help you say goodbye to your forever home, and keep everything in order at your investment. Today, we're family run, family driven, and family proud. We're 4 decades deep, and the energy hasn't faded. We're still focused on today, still driving performance, still raising the bar. Over 35 billion sold, thousands of auctions led, in-room dominance year after year. We're an incubator of talent, a training ground for the next elite, where best practice isn't a buzzword, it's a benchmark. We lead with trust, act with transparency, deliver with knowledge. This is a business built on excellence, driven by experience, fueled by honesty, and focused on results. This is legacy in motion. So if you want a team that truly knows the Gold Coast, you already know who to call. Ray White Bell Group.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very exciting day for so many. And whilst it's exciting to be bidding on a property, there are a number of conditions of sale by public auction for real estate property here in Queensland that must be clear prior to commencing. You may also find these on the back of your bidder registration card. However, the conditions are as follows. Any person intending to bid must register their interest before making a bid. And the bidder must clearly display the bidder number signed to them by the auctioneer, as bids will only be accepted from registered bidders. The highest approved bidder shall be the buyer, subject to the seller's approval and the reserve price, if any. The auctioneer may at his discretion refuse to accept any bids from any person, and no bid, if accepted, may be retracted without the consent of the auctioneer. No bidder shall advance a less sum or percentage at any bidding than the auctioneer is willing to accept. A bid shall be deemed to be accepted unless the auctioneer forthwith after it has been made declares his non-acceptance or dissent. If any dispute or difference shall arise to the highest bidder, the auctioneer may reopen the bidding and resubmit the property, commencing with the highest amount previously bid for the same, or he may decide on the highest bidder in such other manner as he in his absolute discretion shall deem fit, and his decision shall be final. Immediately upon the fall of the hammer, the bidder of the highest bid accepted shall sign these conditions of sale and purchase and forthwith pay the deposit required, and shall thereupon be deemed to be the buyer. Otherwise, the property may be resubmitted at his or her risk and expense, or submitted afresh to public auction as if the property had never before been submitted. The right to bid on behalf of the seller is expressly reserved, and the seller and the buyer agree to do all necessary acts and to sign all documents and papers for the purpose of transferring the property to the buyer. They also appoint the auctioneer as their agent and grant him irrevocable authority to sign all documents and papers necessary to form the agreement for sale and purchase of the property. A bidder shall be deemed to be acting on their own behalf unless, prior to bidding, he or she has given the auctioneer a copy of a written authority to bid for or on behalf of another person. The conditions then to apply are as contained in the Real Estate Institute's copyright form of contract and terms of contract for houses and land current edition, residential lots in the community title scheme current edition, and or any other contract of sale that has been on display prior to auction. At auction, the finance clause does not apply, and the building and or pest inspection clause does not apply. If applicable, the registered bidder acknowledges that they have been given or have seen a copy of Form 36 Notice of No Pill Certificate at the same time of completing these conditions of sale form. All bidders at this auction, and more particularly the successful bidder, shall be deemed to have been given and to have read and to acknowledge the disclosure statement under the Body Corporate and Community Management Act of 1997, which are next to the contract of sale by the virtue of the fact that they have been on display prior to this auction. The terms include a 10% deposit on the fall of the hammer, and the balance in cash in 30 days, or any other such date or terms as specified by the auctioneer prior to the auction. Note, here in Queensland, in accordance with the terms of auction, no cooling off period will apply. The auctioneer may, at his or her discretion, during an in-room auction, elect to stop an auction and put on hold and continue with the order of sale. All auctions will be reopened to the public and either sold or passed in prior to the closing of today's auctions. We welcome you to today's auction. If you have any questions or any concerns, please make yourself known to one of our agents who'd be more than happy to assist you. Good luck and happy bidding. Ladies and gentlemen, delighted to have all your company today. It's a little unusual. We normally have our monthly auctions where we have anywhere up to 20 to 30 odd properties, but today this is a one-off particular scenario as the timing's right for the seller to have the auction today. A couple of things I do need to run through and just confirm with you before we actually submit this property to auction. I'll cut some of them out because they relate to when we have larger crowds. But it is a requirement for anyone bidding here today to be registered bidders. I know those in the room here have done so, and I believe you have parties on the phone as well. So we acknowledge that if there's anybody else intending to bid that hasn't yet registered, please make sure you see Ryan here present at the moment. So we're going to have facilities here, we can get you registered very quickly. Also, we take it anyone bidding here today is bidding on their own behalf. And if that's not the case, which often does happen here in Queensland now, where somebody's bidding for a relative or something that maybe lives in the state, whatever the case may be, we must have an authority for you to do so, otherwise you're bidding on your own behalf. And also, I want to make sure that, and there's no issue here, this is a vacant block of land, so most of the issues that relate to some of the things I bring up don't apply here, including this one, which is about no pool fencing certificate and so on. But it does mention here that Article 45 makes reference to no reserve auctions. That's not the case today. The property is subject to reserve price. So that will be taken into account when we do the bidding. We do have parties absentee here today. It's pretty common now. We normally have anywhere up to 55 to 60% of our bidders who aren't physically here. They're either sitting in their lounge room here on the Gold Coast and don't travel down to the auction rooms, or indeed they are interstate or overseas, which is the case for a couple of parties that are online at the moment. So if as we have to revert to bidding to those parties, please understand our representatives here on the phone to those parties and will convey the bids to us via the telephone. Also, contracts have been available right throughout the marketing campaign, and I know Ryan's been providing those who have shown interest to date, but they have been available. Form 2s have also been available right throughout the program as well. We're going to show a video in just a moment of the property, so you can have one final inspection of it. But otherwise, those are the main conditions. Please be clear on all of those points. We trust you've looked at the contracts if you're intending to bid, pretty standard contracts and no complication because it is actually vacant land, which makes it so simple. So if we can run with the video, please. These are the golden hours. Oh, yeah, golden hours. These are the golden hours. Opportunities like this are becoming exceedingly rare on the Gold Coast. We are down here today in Monterey Keys, Helensvale, offering the last remaining waterfront block not built on in the entire estate to present 43 Glen Water Crescent. This is a 942 square metre east-facing point position block offering a huge 34 metres of wide water frontage and boating access to the Broadwater. Looking to build your forever or dream home? Here are a few options. Getting closer, feel my love for you. Locked in eyes, hold me. Well, there you have it. Those aerial shots certainly show you what a spectacular location it is. Lots of beautiful waterways, as you can see there, and all that amazing parkland, which of course reserves both further to the west and further to the north. But what a pole position right on the point there of the peninsula. And this is, as Ryan mentioned, in the last available vacant block of land, 942 square metres in total. And it is with a 34 metre. That's one of the beauties of being on a point. You get that splayed frontage to the water,
gives you 34 metres frontage to water, which is much nicer. Gives you that ability to build some of those spectacular homes that were displayed there. Shows you how fast you can build these days. It was up in seconds, wasn't it? There are no easements, which is so common these days down the side of many blocks of land. So no easements at all on this, totally clear. And it will be, when completed, the newest home on the waterfront in Monterey Keys, and that will always be something that gives it added value because it's the latest in design for that area. But a beautiful position to be in at Monterey Keys. That whole northern region is just going leaps and bounds. You can see access easy onto the M1s, and now the additional roads being built. And it's just, it's a pocket rocket area in Monterey Keys. So, ladies and gentlemen, we certainly commend yourself to the property itself, and we're ready now to start our bidding away. Who'd like to get the 1-4? It was a bit lower than I was thinking. All right, we'll go with the 1-4, and at that level, we'll take $100,000 rise from there. 1-5 to the top of the room now. We're 1-5 down, 5. The call's in, and we go to 6 from there. We're at 1-5 now. Bids over here on the left-hand side against our opening party. We're at 1-5. 5 here in the room now. We're at 1-5. We look at the 6 on the rise from there. 6 the back in there with the opening bid at 1-6. The call's in now at 6. Have 1-6. 6 and go to 7 from there. We're at 1-6 here on the left-hand side. All right, well, no less than 50s at this level. We're at 1-6-5. Bids back here in the centre now at 1-6-5. We go to 7 from there. We're at 1-6-5. We are talking about the most commanding position in Monterey Keys. We're talking about the last remaining block of land, and we're talking about a home with a beautiful 34-metre frontage to water. And once that's completed, it's going to be breathtaking. We're 1-6-5 at the moment. The bid's back here at 1-6-5. We're looking for the 7 from there. We're at 1-6-5. Who's with me? The 7. Here, 1-7. We're sending it there in the 7. We're at 7 now. We're at 1-7. Have 1-7. Bid goes from there to 7-5. We're at 1-7 now. We're down here in the front of the 1-7. Another 50 gets you out in the lead from there. And the 50's back there now. 1-7-5. Have 1-7-5. Take it away on the call from there at 1-7-5. Look for the 8. The bid's back there now. At the 1-7-5, I'm called in once. At 1-7-5 with you, sir, now twice. Third time, at 1-7-5. Remember, we're valuing the properties here. We're at 1-7-5. Handsome home will be built on that, and it'll be the standout property in Monterey Keys. We're at 1-7-5 at the moment. The third and final call to the gentleman to the rear. Are we all done? All silent? All of those on the phone to their various parties, an opportunity to be clear on your positions. At 1-7-5. Call that count again in just a moment for your last opportunity. Bids back there at the top now, the 1-7-5. What I can tell you is you will not have another opportunity to buy a vacant block of land in this position on Monterey Keys, because this is it. Nothing like having the best, the latest constructed home in the pole position. 1-8. We're at 1-8 now. We're at 1-8. 1-8, the call's in at 1-8. At 8 now, we're at 1-8. Bids back here in the front here at the 1-8. Another 50 and we're back into the lead for you folks. We're at 1-8 in the front here. Bids with the opening bidder. We're at 1-8 now. We'll give you a couple of seconds, yes, okay, no problems. We're at 1-8 now. Same to all parties. You can have a bit of a chat to your parties on the phone. Friday. I suppose no one's looking forward to the end of the day. Well, no different for us in real estate, is it? We just go back in. Tomorrow's like another work day. Really. If we're lucky, we might get Sunday afternoon, you know. I would put this property on hold, allow the guys to have their chats, and then we'd move on to the next one, sell the next 3 or 4, then come back and complete that. But I think most people recognise this is pretty special, given its position. And then we have our sellers who aren't present with us here at the moment. They're in a very beautiful part of the world. Okay, I'll let you, we'll speak to our sellers now. They haven't been online. Hi there. Meanwhile, if there's a bit of music, we'd love that, you know. Yeah. Any road music?
We got a better something. We got something a little better there. I've got I got my music list here. What about something from Mykonos? Come on, come on. Sounds like choir music or something. Oh, not bad. Okay. Suppose it's an auction. We better stay event appropriate. Feel free to join in, folks. Have sing if you like. A lovely week or so on the Gold Coast, hasn't it? Last weekend, all week's been just beautiful weather, and I think we've got more of it for the weekend. But we are feeling, I'm noticing a little change in the temperature. Mm-hmm. Well, by choice, I would like it to be no colder than this. This is fine. The singing auctioneer, I'll call myself. I can't sing. That's ridiculous. I won't. Yeah, yeah. Well, if I could sing, I might start something. But if I was singing, the room would empty very quickly. So lots of our team are on the phone talking to people. We've got anything happening there, Ryan? What's that? Yes. Okay. All right. I think the best way to go, I've just spoken to Ryan. We have several conditional buyers who weren't able to buy under auction conditions. As we're a little under where the seller would like to be at the moment, and we want to open that space up for our conditional buyers. I know several are on online watching as well. So we'll open that space up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass the property in. It is to your party at 1.8. If they do come to the market to the figure our seller's looking for, then they're right to go, as opposed to the conditional buyers. But right now, we're going to open the market to the conditional buyers as well as those here with us now. Does that suit you, Ryan? And to our sellers as well. So on that basis, I'm passing the property in at the 1.8, and we'll continue those negotiations. I know people are still going for it, so hopefully in the next hour or so we might have a result. So thanks everybody for your attendance here today. If there's anything we can help you with, please let us know and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.